Your doctor just delivered the news. Your cholesterol is dangerously high, so you cut out eggs, you buy everything labeled heart healthy, you start taking fish oil, and yet, your next blood test shows your numbers are worse, not better. What's going on? The truth is, most people are sabotaging their own cholesterol-lowering efforts without realizing it. They're following outdated advice, falling for clever marketing, and making critical mistakes that don't just waste their time and money, they actively worsen their cardiovascular health. These aren't minor missteps. They're dangerous errors that keep millions of people on the path to heart disease despite their best intentions. In this video, we're exposing the 5 most destructive mistakes people make when trying to lower their cholesterol, blunders that could be undermining everything you've tried so far and potentially pushing you closer to a heart attack or stroke. Let's start with the most widespread mistake, one that has people spending billions on products that are actively damaging their heart health. Focusing on low-fat foods loaded with sugar. You've seen them all over the grocery store. Low-fat, reduced-fat, cholesterol-free foods claiming to protect your heart. They seem like the obvious choice when trying to lower cholesterol. But here's the devastating truth. These processed, heart-healthy foods are often making your cholesterol profile dramatically worse. When manufacturers remove fat, they typically replace it with sugar and refined carbohydrates to improve taste. These ingredients trigger a metabolic disaster in your body. They spike insulin, increase triglycerides, lower protective HDL cholesterol, and promote the formation of small, dense LDL particles, the most dangerous kind for your arteries. A landmark study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that people who cut fat but increased carbohydrates actually worsened their cholesterol ratios and increased their cardiovascular risk. Even more alarming, research in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology revealed that many low-fat processed foods increase inflammatory markers linked to arterial damage and heart disease. What makes this mistake particularly catastrophic is that people make it with the best intentions, believing they're helping their heart. They dutifully choose the low-fat crackers, the fat-free yogurt, the reduced-fat peanut butter, never realizing these products are silently deteriorating their cholesterol profile with every bite. The real tragedy: while carefully avoiding eggs, which actually have minimal impact on blood cholesterol for most people, they're consuming low-fat cookies with 20 grams of added sugar, which directly increases triglycerides and promotes dangerous LDL patterns. The solution? Forget low-fat labels and focus on whole, unprocessed foods. An avocado with its natural fat is far better for your cholesterol than a low-fat, sugar-laden alternative. Your heart doesn't care about fat content nearly as much as it cares about sugar, refined carbs, and inflammation. Misunderstanding which fats actually harm cholesterol. The second critical mistake flows directly from decades of oversimplified messaging, vilifying all fats while misunderstanding which ones actually damage cholesterol levels. Here's the dangerous truth. Many people scrupulously avoid healthy fats, like those in olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish, while unknowingly consuming industrial seed oils that actively promote inflammation and oxidize cholesterol. These refined vegetable oils, including soybean, corn, cottonseed, and safflower oils, are ubiquitous in processed foods and restaurant meals. They're high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, when consumed in the disproportionate amounts found in the modern diet, create an inflammatory environment that damages arteries and oxidizes cholesterol. Research in the Journal of Lipid Research found that oxidized LDL cholesterol, not just high LDL, is what actually triggers plaque formation in arteries. These industrial oils are major contributors to cholesterol oxidation due to their unstable polyunsaturated structure. The mistake becomes even more damaging when people believe they're being good by choosing products made with these oils instead of more stable traditional fats. The heart-healthy vegetable oil spray might actually be worse for arterial health than the butter it replaced. What makes this error particularly devastating is that it deprives people of fats that actively improve cholesterol profiles. Monounsaturated fats in olive oil and avocados, omega-3s in fatty fish, and even certain saturated fats in dark chocolate have been shown to improve HDL levels, reduce inflammation, and support healthier LDL particle patterns. The solution? Stop fearing all fats and start distinguishing between those that help and harm. Choose extra virgin olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish while avoiding industrial seed oils and trans fats. The Mediterranean diet, with up to 40% of calories from fat, consistently outperforms low-fat approaches for heart health. Relying on supplements instead of addressing diet fundamentals. Your medicine cabinet is stocked with fish oil, red yeast rice, CoQ10, and a dozen other heart-healthy supplements. You take them religiously, believing they're protecting your cardiovascular system, but your cholesterol continues climbing. Why? This third mistake is particularly costly, both financially and health-wise. Many people put their faith in supplements while continuing dietary habits that actively damage their cholesterol profiles. It's like installing a tiny air filter in a house that's on fire. The intervention is too small to counteract the ongoing damage. Research in the Annals of Internal Medicine examined numerous studies on supplements for cholesterol management and found that many produced only modest effects or inconsistent results. Even fish oil, one of the most studied supplements, typically lowers triglycerides but has minimal impact on LDL or total cholesterol when used alone. What makes this mistake especially harmful is the false security it provides. People continue consuming foods that actively worsen their cholesterol, refined carbohydrates, added sugars, inflammatory oils, believing their supplements will neutralize the damage. This misplaced confidence delays meaningful dietary changes that could actually reverse their condition. Even more concerning, some supplements interact with medications or have their own risks. Red yeast rice, for example, contains lovastatin-like compounds, but in unregulated amounts, potentially causing side effects similar to prescription statins, but without medical supervision. Don't misunderstand. Quality supplements can be valuable additions to a comprehensive approach, but they cannot compensate for a diet that actively damages your cardiovascular system. No amount of fish oil can counteract a diet high in sugar, refined carbs, and inflammatory fats. The solution? View supplements as the name implies, supplemental to fundamental dietary changes. Address the foundation first. Eliminate added sugars, refined carbohydrates, and inflammatory oils before investing in bottles of pills. Obsessing over total cholesterol while ignoring critical ratios. Your doctor just told you your total cholesterol is 190 milligrams per deciliter, below the 200 milligrams per deciliter threshold for high cholesterol. Everything's fine, right? Not necessarily. This fourth mistake might be the deadliest of all because it gives a false sense of security to millions of people with dangerous cholesterol patterns. Total cholesterol is simply the sum of different types of cholesterol, both protective and harmful. It's like measuring your financial health by adding your assets and debts together without distinguishing between them. Two people can have identical total cholesterol numbers with dramatically different cardiovascular risks. What truly matters are ratios and particle characteristics. Total cholesterol to HDL ratio, triglycerides to HDL ratio, LDL particle size and number. Small, dense particles are far more dangerous than large, fluffy ones. Inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, which indicate arterial damage risk. Research published in the American Journal of Cardiology found that these ratios predict heart attack risk far more accurately than total cholesterol alone. Even more concerning, a study in Circulation showed that nearly 50% of people hospitalized for heart attacks had normal total cholesterol levels, but problematic ratios and particle patterns. This mistake is particularly dangerous because it leads people with normal numbers to become complacent, while their actual risk remains elevated. Meanwhile, others with technically high total cholesterol may actually have excellent cardiovascular health because most of their cholesterol is in the protective HDL form. The solution? Request a comprehensive lipid panel that includes particle size testing, ratios, and inflammatory markers, not just basic cholesterol numbers. Even if your total cholesterol seems acceptable, understanding the composition provides a far more accurate picture of your cardiovascular risk. Pursuing short-term fixes instead of sustainable lifestyle changes. This final mistake might explain why so many people feel trapped in a cycle of improving, then worsening cholesterol levels. It goes like this. Your cholesterol test comes back high. You panic and make drastic, unsustainable changes. You cut out entire food groups, start an extreme exercise regimen, and white-knuckle your way through a few weeks of deprivation. Your numbers improve somewhat, so you relax and gradually return to previous habits. 6 months later, your cholesterol is worse than before. Rinse and repeat. This approach doesn't just fail, it actively harms your cardiovascular system through what researchers call the yo-yo effect. Studies in the New England Journal of Medicine show that fluctuating between healthy and unhealthy behaviors creates more inflammation and oxidative stress than consistent, moderate approaches. This pattern is particularly damaging because it creates the illusion of taking action while never actually addressing the root causes of cholesterol problems. Each cycle further entrenches unhealthy baseline habits while reinforcing the belief that cholesterol management must be miserable and unsustainable. Perhaps most concerning, this approach ignores the fact that cholesterol management is a lifelong commitment, not a short-term fix. Arteries don't heal overnight, and damaged endothelial tissue requires consistent care to regenerate. The solution? Focus on gradual, sustainable changes you can maintain for life. The Mediterranean diet, mindful eating practices, consistent moderate exercise, stress management, and adequate sleep are evidence-based approaches that improve cholesterol profiles without requiring monastic deprivation. These 5 mistakes aren't just common, they're actively promoted by outdated medical advice, food industry marketing, and oversimplified health messaging. Understanding and avoiding them could mean the difference between wasting years on approaches that don't work and actually solving your cholesterol problems at their source. Don't let these mistakes lead you down a path that ends in a cardiac unit. Recognize them, correct them, and transform your approach to cholesterol management before it's too late. Your heart's future depends on the choices you make today. The good news? Once you stop making these mistakes, your cholesterol often improves rapidly, sometimes within weeks. Your body wants to heal. You just need to stop sabotaging its efforts.